Hey ladies and gentlemen, thank you for catching us again on today's episode of Rock the Block Live with my guest today, Charles Bark. Charles, thank you for coming on the show once again. And today we're going to find out a bit more about your product. But before that, what was really interesting for me is your background, which was so rich, and from the time of your grandparents to how you were brought up, and why, for all the reasons and all the projects in the world that you could have created, you are looking specifically at elder care, insurance for the elderly, taking care of someone in their twilight years, so to speak, which is a very noble thing to do. What's the inspiration behind that?
Yes, thanks for asking, Eugene. The whole idea of helping the elderly comes from my own pain, because I live in China for 12 years. So I live far away from my elderly mother, and she's living alone because my father passed away. And like every child, I was calling her 5 years ago, and then I said, "Hey mom, how are you doing?" And she said, "Yes, I'm fine, don't worry." And I was just no worried. But my older brother called me and said, "Hey, no, she's not fine, because she just fell down." And then I realized, and I was shocked for two reasons. One is I realized I didn't have any visibility of health at home. And the second thing is, what will be the next call? It will be too late. So then I realized that something should be done. And the more I was thinking about this, I was thinking that I'm not alone, because there is many more in my situation.
So you'll be surprised to know that even in today's world of high technology and advancement in technology, we talk about having FaceTime, VoIP, a click on the mouse to see your loved one miles and miles away. But what people forget to realize is that is still a very digital thing. And when something physically happens to somebody and you cannot be physically there, that's when the worry starts to set in.
Exactly, yeah. That's why in fact, the whole idea of HiNounou is how is it possible to help our parents to live not only longer but healthier, happier at home, and also bring the peace of mind to their children. But if we think of these services, it should be holistic, blended with digital, as well as a human touch, as you said. So how can we leverage the best of digitalization to help with the data that we collect, a better diagnosis for those who are in face-to-face, which is the caregivers.
Oh, that sounds like a good aim to have, like whatever you mentioned. I do not disagree with that. My question is, how do you make that happen?
Yes, exactly. So it's not that easy as you can imagine. It took like 12 years in 4 countries in the world to be able to come with a HiNounou wellness pack. And this wellness pack is here. Can I show it?
Sure.
Okay, this HiNounou wellness pack here is in fact divided in 3 components inside. And we have inside one DNA testing, I will show you maybe later, that able to identify the top 10 risks of the elderly. Then we have also mobile healthcare connected devices that is able to daily monitor what's happened at home. It takes only one time, less than 5 minutes. And then we have also this insurance that can also protect the elderly at home. So all of these are connected with AI InsurTech data blockchain platform, where from this at home, we send the data on the cloud, and after that we collect all those data, it's analyzed, and then we can come back with preventative and also predictive care, instead of waiting that the elderly suffers. We prefer to be more in preventative.
But I understand the AI portion of it. Like you would get all the data from what the user is feeding into the system. You put it to the cloud, you analyze it, and then the system will be able to give out some form of predictive steps to take, right? I understand the insurance portion as well, because that's very clear to understand. But where this show is about blockchain, the blockchain technology and use case. So we're not talking so much on speculation or price action. We are more interested in how does this project actually become useful to people. So where does the blockchain solution comes in on this whole infrastructure?
Number one is when we use this kind of IoTs, connected medical device at home, evidence already shows that people doesn't use connected medical device more than 6 months.
Okay.
That's how many use like this connected band or watches or whatever? And the question to ask is, number one is, what do we do with the data? Number two is, how long do we use those connected devices? And since evidence already proved that we don't use for a long time, we need to reward. We need to develop this kind of reward system that incentivize on the sustainability this supply of data. So where does blockchain come from? The benefit of the blockchain is from the token economy. So once we have seniors who send once a day their data, then we use our HiNounou token to reimburse them for the time they spend to send that data. And so this reward system coming from the blockchain token that is able to encourage them to continue to feed the data. And above that, of course, we use the blockchain for the encryption and also distribute it, because as you see on our wellness pack, you have on the supply chain centric to the seniors, different shareholders that bring their own value proposition to our platform. And those need to have access to those data. So because it's distributed and also secure, that's also another important features of the blockchain.
Well, I totally agree with you on that, Charles, because where the blockchain will really come in is for users to put their data, encrypt it, right, and send it around for any of the potential, I would say, healthcare service providers to be able to access this data securely.
Yes.
And the other thing I think you rightfully mentioned, and this is probably where the biggest benefit to using the crypto tokens really come in. How many of you guys watching this when you mentioned about the product just now and having to use it, first thing in my mind was, how long will I use it before I forget to use it, right?
Yes.
We buy massage parlors, we buy health pack. Like I've bought, machines to help me get better body, give abs, But most times, I don't even think 6 months,
Yes,
3 months,
Yes.
You stop using it, you put it aside. So I was very worried why this would then be useful for people.
Yes.
But you mentioned something very rightly, and I think you're also an expert in gamification and serious games, and you weaved in the incentive model to get people to actually use this.
Yes.
But the question that I have now is also, would the elderly people, because the problem with blockchain now and cryptocurrency is the ability to use the token in a very easy manner.
Yes.
Right? Like if you give someone here $50,
Yes.
the immediate incentive, right?
Correct.
But if it's a token, and my 70-year-old grandmother, for example,
Yes.
she may not even know how to appreciate the token.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how would you go about that to give people the incentive?
It's a very important question because, as you said, if you have my grandmother or my mother full of a HiNounou token, but what does she do with that? If it's just a digital format, then useless. So the whole operation that we are setting now, and this is a fantastic news, is we collaborate with one of the biggest in the world reward companies. I cannot disclose the name because we are now in setting, The good thing is in China, very soon, the holders of HiNounou token will be able to go on a supermarket chain, like the most famous one, as well as the retail grocery stores, the biggest chain store, and will be able, like easily as we use WeChat payment, to redeem it and go to the retail shop and pay every groceries that they need on the supermarket or whatever with HiNounou token on the POS machine.
That is then what I would call a solution to a very difficult hurdle, because a lot of elderly now would go to all these big supermarkets. If you're watching this from Singapore, like Malaysia, Vietnam, I believe even Thailand, you go to the supermarket and you tap your card. And to the user, they don't know, they don't care. Whether it's points, it's crypto, I tap it, I get $50 off or 50% off my purchase. I'm happy. I'll continue to go back and keep doing because I don't care what goes on behind the scenes. I know that as a reward and effort mechanism, I keep myself healthy, which is a good thing. I get rewarded for being healthy. Win. Now, when we sit here and talk about this idea of healthcare and elder care, you shared your own history with your own mom that led you to come up with this idea. But also, Charles is not a newcomer to the scene. In fact, as you heard me mention, he is into loyalty program, he's into gamification of ideas and incentivizing people. He's also a PhD already? Taking your PhD right now.
Yes.
In France, and he is specializing in Internet of Things, IoT, as well as AI.
Yes.
In fact, you were actually awarded by the president of France as the top 3 entrepreneurs on AI in China.
Yes, correct.
Now that is a huge accolade.
Yes.
How do you get that?
Well, we are lucky because I think it will be a humanistic dream to solve one of the biggest silver economy bombing threat in the world, which is how do we care about the growing numbers of aging. And the President Macron, when he came in China, was trying to be helpful to the Chinese government. And one, as he said, one priority on his agenda was how is it possible that French can solve the issue of aging bombing in China, because as you know, we have in China 200 million seniors. And in the coming years, within 30 years, you will go to 500 million seniors. And there will be almost 40% of the entire population. Okay. So since France has a very high level of science, research, and also experience in aging care, because it took 100 years in France to renew the entire aging population. When in Asia, like China and where we are here, it's only take 20 years to 30 years to double the population. So the speed is so quick with the big numbers that a French president wanted to give the best of France and deliver it to China. That's why I think his cabinet members and also his staff in the French embassy and Business France, as well as the French tech, help us to be connected, and that's why we got this prize.
And that's also sort of a homecoming for you, because you were born and raised in France, in Paris, and you also you stayed in China for the last 12 years. So you'd be the perfect person to do the crossover. Right. So with this new product out in the market right now, one of the things that I would think would be the hardest challenge to get across is in educating people the importance of taking care of the elderly. Yes. I don't see a lot of, although you're right that a lot of the population of elders in Singapore and in Asia is increasing at an astronomical number. Yes. However, there is still the big divide between people who want to care and people who are actually caring for it. So I believe a lot of children do want to take care of their parents, but the how is always a problem. Exactly. So how do you reach out to them?
Okay, this is a big issue because when we think of the numbers, you have half of the population of Beijing, half of the population of Shanghai, which is total population of Shanghai is 26 million, half of them 30 million, almost the same in Beijing, which give us a big millions of people. That is a big and huge problem today. So how do we cope with this diaspora or those people living far away from them? Is we use these mobile health connected devices. We also come up with the idea of AI robotic service companion that can also be together with the seniors because we live longer but lonely. And among those 200 million seniors, 60% already live alone. So that gives us a big numbers of people. And so we need to also think not only on healthcare, but more on wellness.
Yeah.
Because loneliness can affect also healthcare situation. So we need to think of the solution globally, comprehensive, and then also give to their family living away from them connected tools. That's why with the mobile now, I'm able to watch and see the situation of my mom.
I'll ask you about your mom later, but right now I want to find out how to use this because I'm quite excited. My parents are getting old. They are living away from me. I know Singapore is still very, very short. A phone call away means I'm 20 minutes down, right? But still, I'm very interested in this. Tell me more. How do I use this?
Okay, so here we are. We
really cool.
We have first a box that has our dream here and our vision, which is help us seniors to live longer, healthier, happier at home. And here we have this comprehensive solution, which is a holistic innovation that has number one, we have here a DNA test pack. We have also mobile dedicated to seniors, and we have inside different connected devices. So number one is we can start, yes, with this DNA testing. With this DNA testing, it's based on the saliva, so you put this swab in the mouth, and from this we send to our lab, which is the third biggest DNA test lab in China, and we co-created this testing that is able to identify the top 10 risks based on CVD, cardiovascular disease, number 2, diabetics type 2, number 3, Alzheimer, and 4, Parkinson. And when we get the picture of those 10 top risk evaluation of the seniors, then we can go to the next step level, which is using this mobile phone.
Okay.
This mobile phone is dedicated to help seniors. It's coming from our partner ZTE Angel Care. And you see here, Eugene, there's a button here. There is a button here, SOS button, and if we press this button, then you see here, it goes to 3 caregivers.
Oh wow!
So the elderly is whatever the elderly is in indoor, outdoor, are able to immediately call for emergencies.
So that's why you have included a smartphone in it. It's not just having your own smartphone.
Yes.
There's a special smartphone with an SOS button, right?
Yes, exactly.
And what's really cool and I thought about is you have actually thought about it and make all the fonts look really huge. For
yeah,
the
exactly, yeah. And inside ZTE Angel Care, the very good news is they already preloaded our app in the factory in the mobile phone. And this mobile phone has already a success in Chinese market because they sold 1.2 million of those phones already to the children, and children buy it to offer to the parents. So what we did is we increased the value proposition of this phone having our APP inside that is able now to monitor. We have done with the DNA testing, and now we will go to the mobile health monitoring. How do we do it? Start, and then we take the oximeter. Next.
It's almost foolproof because it's all just pictures, and you just have to press one button, next. Follow the instruction and just do it.
Exactly.
Okay. So I just clip this on as what is picture showing me. And what do I do now?
And then nothing, because automatically it will take your heartbeat and your oxygen level, and from there it will send, and already sent 97 here, and your other numbers 100. But the thing is, nobody understands that.
Yeah.
So what we did is, from the raw data, we extract the knowledge with our algorithm and give you in colors. Is it green, which is very good, and you're good here? Orange or red. Then we go to next, and next it tells to take the blood pressure. Then next, and
so
then
again, just follow the picture, right?
exactly, and then follow the pictures. You put that around your arm, correct? You press this button, Eugene,
Start.
and then you feel it's inflating. That sending the data to the mobile phone. And from this mobile phone, it directly sent to the cloud. And that's why your children or your family all over the world can even have this accessibility to those data.
When you say send to the cloud, does it send to a HiNounou server for assessment?
Yeah.
Or can I, as the son, go in and click on it and still see? Is it open to me as well?
Yeah, as long as the seniors give the permission to the caregivers to see the data. So you see here, the data is sent already to here. So it says it's okay, you know, on the green, as you see. It's between the green and orange. And then you go to the next level, which is your scale. And then I didn't bring the scale, but with this pack you have a connected scale. And then if we go next, and I will simulate, let's say here I have a magic button to simulate it, and then we have 75 kilos.
I'm 75 kg only.
And then the magic is from here, you see the token.
Oh.
And we reward you, the HiNounou token, we reward you for the time you just spent, which is less than 5 minutes, as you see, less than 5 minutes. And that's the HiNounou token that you receive here on your wallet. And then when you finished, you have here the dashboard of your existing status. So you see the heart rate, but not only the heart rate of today, the heart rate of the previous day, which is important for the doctors to understand the trend, the past trend. If you look at oxygen saturation, you have also the past trend for the previous days, even months. And here, blood pressure, you have a systolic and diastolic, and you can see also the evolution as well as you weight also. And the magic thing, this is for the senior, but let's pretend that I am your son, and I'm living far away from you, and you're my father. Yeah. So I have here on my mobile phone the HiNounou app, and in that it connects directly to the cloud. And here I can see exactly the measure today, October 29, and we see here the heart rate. You see here is today plus the average, and we have the low and high numbers. So we see here the blood pressure, and exactly the same.
I think the UX and the UI is very important, because what I did just now in that 5 minutes, it was I didn't have to press anything on these devices.
Correct.
Right? I just load the app, which is the big button on the phone, on this phone that's given to the elderly. I click it, I follow the on-screen instructions, but after a while it's just, you know, clip. In fact, the DNA is not done every day. It's done first time, right? Exactly. So that you guys will have an assessment of his health. But what I do every other day is just blood pressure, oxygen and heartbeat, And this alone goes into the app. And as the user of this equipment, I get rewarded for 3 to 5 minutes of my time. But the children then get the report. And I would imagine this would be something that's valuable to the insurance companies, the doctors. Is there a connection with them?
Yeah, exactly. You see the connection here on the app. You have a report, and so it's helped the doctors to have a better diagnosis. So our aim is not to replace the doctors, but to give them a better information about the status of the health of the seniors, and then from that they can upload some prescription or some report if it's legalized in their country. And the other button that you see here is for the seniors. What if they don't feel good at home? We want to go beyond the connected devices and give them a better life. So what if they are alone and they suffer from anything? So they have a button here. If I say yes, it goes to 400 and goes directly to telemedicine assistance from AXA 24/7. So they're able, if there is something wrong on the numbers, they're able to call immediately the professional medical assistance, and they will tell her what.
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
The other thing that I'm interested in, when you mentioned that the robot as a service.
Yes.
So I've done all this, I'm at home now, I know I have a quick call to somebody, but I'm lonely. Can I call them to talk and say hello?
So we have, this is a good question. We have, number one is medical hotline, which is very professional, and that is the telemedicine assistance of AXA. And to overcome the loneliness, what we did, and I cannot show you right now, is the robot AI, which is able to connect on the same block potential other elderlies that feel alone. And if they're connected on the same platform, they will be able to help you to gather, based not on your loneliness, but based on your interest.
So it's like Tinder for elderly.
Yes, exactly.
So I swipe right to meet new people.
Exactly, exactly. If you find elderlies that are involved in dancing, like in China, they really like to dance and go on the street to do it, or Tai Chi, or for some other, they like golf, they will be able to be linked together based on the pole of interest.
Oh my goodness, you know, Charles, I was so afraid that you were going to tell me that robot as a service would mean that I have to talk to an AI system, which would be so sad, right? But at least this is just the portion where it links you up with other people of different interests in the vicinity. So thereby creating another community using this app. Exactly. So it takes care of you, it checks you out, it eases worry, it gives you a second list of friend circle, because as the older you get, the less friends you have. But now you actually have a second chance at being sociable again.
Exactly.
And you're covered by insurance, XR you mentioned, your information is being sent to doctors, so you know, you're constantly being monitored.
Yes.
I think this sounds like it's going to be a very expensive package. That's my concern right now, is like, how much do I have to spend to get this?
Yes, so even before to go to the price, I would say that there is another type of insurance which is very innovative and a breakthrough innovation in China, because almost 200 million of them doesn't have access to this insurance, is what we call accidental and death. Okay. Because what if, like my mother, she fell down, and there is an issue with that. In China today, they don't have access to private commercial insurance after 65, 70 years old, because health, what we said, the good health stop at 68 years old. Okay. So after that, insurance are not keen to insure them, because there are a lot of risk. But because you saw here on the package, there is a lot of AI data that can help the caregivers to give a better advice on what to do to prevent those diseases. Now they come with Ping An. And Ping An deliver accidental and death up to 100 years old without underwriting. So inside this pack you have AXA assistance 24/7, telemedicine assistance, and you have also on top of it you have Ping An #1 in China, who deliver accidental and deaths up to 100 years old without underwriting. And so hold this package. Now return to your question. The question is, how much does it cost? This costs around $100 US dollars per month. So it's around a little bit more than $1,000 a year.
Wait, sorry, 100 USD a month?
Yes.
That includes the insurance premium and everything?
That includes all what we said, the DNA testing, the mobile device.
So I don't have to send, I do my DNA, I send it for clinical testing, I don't have to pay extra for that?
No.
Wow.
And from the DNA we collect around 700,000 data. That's, by the way, you see there is a lot of DNA testing now going on and more developed. But the question is, how do we recognize a good DNA and a bad DNA testing? It's by the numbers of data that you receive. You have the low cheap quality that only are sold for $100, and you got around 50 to 100 data. Our report retrieve around 700,000 data. So almost 1 million that is able to really dig into the data and do the chronic disease assessment on a much better way than just 100 data. And then from that we have the all hardware included with the IoTs. And of course, the two insurance services.
Are there any other things like that around? Like what's the competition like?
Okay. Of course, we have competitors on each segment of this box. We are not the only one who doing DNA testing. We are not obviously the only one who doing these IoT connected devices. And we are not the only one who doing the insurance. Yeah. Except that for the up to 100 years old, without underwriting, we are the only one to do that with Ping An. But if you take all in one pack and have this holistic innovation of bringing everything in only one pack and delivering multi-services based on the data that we can collect and then give back as knowledge to bring them a better life.
Because I think what HiNounou is doing is, if you guys have been watching the rest of my videos, is monetizing of user data. Except when we talk about user data, we have people who say it's using mobile, and this is actually an IoT play, not just fitness, not just targeting anybody with fitness, but specifically the elderly market that has been, I think, quite ignored by most people because it's not lifestyle, it's not cool. But it's only when things happen to you that you get to start worry. And like you mentioned, there's all these separate individual components, but for it to come together really easy, and more importantly, the incentive to use it and to be rewarded for the good health, and also with the option of finding communities around. And because the data is on the blockchain, insurance companies, health agencies can actually take part in this. And I would assume some form of tokenomics at the back model that goes to offset some of the cost, and that's why the user only pays $100 US. Chances are, if we see this moving forward with the governments coming in and there's a bit of support from the health authority of various different countries, all people can get subsidy for this, and then to make it really, really affordable to everyone.
Yeah, and one also of the amazing things of the blockchain is to be able to give the visibility and ownership to the seniors, because the question is, to whom does it belong? So the data would say belongs to you if you are the seniors, and when we connect to the third party who need those data, like insurers or pharma company, and we sell to a third party, it will never be done without your consent. So number one is, we will tell you on our app that you are participating in a pool of research that will be delivered to, for example, a third party. and are you willing to participate, yes or not? And if it's say yes, you will be rewarded another time with the HiNounou token.
So even if I say no, I still get HiNounou token?
No, if you say no, you're not rewarded.
So someone's got to pay for the reward, right?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
Okay.
So the third party will be reward you for the data that you're willing to share anonymously, of course.
So HiNounou, is there a meaning behind this name?
So HiNounou is the name of our robot, and HiNounou, and the HiNounou means nanny in French. So it's high caring people.
Understand now. And so before we say goodbye to the audience, is there anything you want to say to them?
Hello, this is Charles Bark. You're watching Rock the Blocks Live. I'm the CEO and founders of HiNounou. We welcome all the support because this dream of helping seniors to live longer, healthier, happier is a big dream, and it's solving one of the biggest issues in the world, which is home aging care. So we welcome you to join our Telegram community, HiNounou, and connect to me to see what we can do together to make a better world for them.
Well, thank you very much, Charles. This is Charles Bark, ladies and gentlemen, for HiNounou. So if you're, let me get this. So for more information, you can click on the link below. If you have elderly parents, this is something you want to take a look at. Of course, you can go check out the website, find more information about how this really works. I've tried it here in front of you guys, and it's pretty easy as I'm concerned. So I'm going to play with this a bit more because I think it's not just for elderly, but it's also useful for people like us, right? So we'll see you guys next time. You're watching Rock the Block Live with me, Eugene Tay, and Charles, saying goodbye.